We're at the studios of Wednesday Talks yet again, and this time we have in our company and represented the global talent community, the Thwaites brothers. We have Sean and Sheldon in ages going down. Welcome to Wednesday Talks, guys, and it's really good to have you here. Individually and collectively, you all are known throughout the global talent community because you guys perform a lot. You're not necessarily restricted to steel pan instruments. But I'm going to let each of you introduce yourselves very briefly. We will start with Sheldon.
Well, I'm Sheldon Thwaites. I'm a drummer. I'm 17 years old. I'm from Washington, D.C. And I'm currently taking classes at Boston Arts Academy and Berklee College of Music. I've been playing the drums for about 12 years now. And I'm currently working on the trumpet, which is an instrument that I love also.
Very, very busy. So you're going into Berklee next year?
Yes, but I'm taking classes. As of now.
All right, and you're following the footsteps of your two older brothers, right?
Yes.
Both Sean and Sherwin have both been to Berklee and have graduated. Sean, your turn.
My turn. Right now, I currently form Pan United Youth Movement. It's a steel drum class and also orchestra in New Jersey, out of New Jersey. And right now I'll be starting next week with a bass college in Maine as a professor there, teaching steel drum.
Excellent.
Once a week, every Wednesday.
In Maine?
In Maine, yeah. So that's what's happening for me now. I'm also still producing with Sherwin. He's a producer on the side. That's his extra curricular, I guess, besides the pan. I love that, so I help out with that. And we all arrange together and produce together.
Yeah.
So that's another.
And before I go to Sherwin, how often do you guys get to play together?
We gig often in Boston. We work with a company, Little Entertainment. Weekly.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So I'm going. Sherwin.
Well, I'm Sherwin. I'm the eldest of the three. Been playing, me and Sean have been playing for about 15 years now. Was on and off, in D.C., New York, Trinidad, Boston, with steel bands, and together with ourselves. And we actually got kind of lucky. We've been working with Ms. Lauren Hill.
Which we will indeed get into.
So we've been, and I produce as well. That's kind of what I do. Sad to say, more so than I get to play pan. I get to play more piano now. Because when we gig together, I'm the piano player. I split between piano in my right hand and bass in my left, while Sean plays pan and Sheldon plays drums. So we have a 4-piece band, if you think about it.
Oh, okay.
So if you hear it, it's balanced just as though we had a bass player. Because my left hand has gotten pretty well now. So pretty much a bass player.
Okay. Sean, you also play pan as well, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What are your favorite instruments in that case, in the voices of pan? Sean.
Double second.
I know quite a few.
Started on double
smiling.
Yeah, started on double second. Had to move to double second.
Why?
Just the range and the station. Yeah, definitely. There's it could do everything.
Sheldon?
For me, I like the bass. The body, it pushes the band. The bass and the quadraphonic because of the tone. And how it propels or projects because it's up in the air.
You get a good workout.
I didn't say I played it.
Well, for me, I started out actually in D.C., I started out with TNT, still my orchestra. It's a double second player. Then I moved to tenor when I went to Pan Masters. But now, after hearing Sean solo, I stick in the back. I just like to hear him play. So I'm a mid-range player. Cellos, quadro, double guitar, which is just like a double second, but you're just strumming. So I just like to listen to Sean play, and I'm a mid-range player.
Okay. Sean, your commitment as a professor in Maine, how is that going to affect your weekly gigs together? Are you going to be able to balance that?
Yes, I will. The gigs are mainly in the summer.
Okay.
The clients tend to want to hear the pan during the hot season.
Remember the Caribbean.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Okay.
It's funny, when we were at Berklee, people would hear us play, and when we got there, it was more or less, you guys are great, and they wanted to, they would be like, you guys are great, but they never would really ask you to play on this. So it's in a way, as a pan player, we kind of have to make your own path, such as maybe Andy did, as Garvin does, as Robbie does, so that it's not just
dependent on people inviting you.
And in the summer. So I guess that's why I headed more towards the production side, because I'm like, all these piano players, gospel singers, bass players, they love you and you jam with them, but they're not really calling you to play on anything for them. So it was more or less, let me see what's pushing everybody else, and it was this production thing.
You had to just take things into your own hands and make your mark and make yourself heard out there. What exactly is the focus of the three of you in terms of, like, say, 5-10 years down the road from now? Because you all are diverse musicians. You are acclaimed. You're each, recognized, but you're going to be going into school 4 years at least your way. You two have already come out. You're starting a professorship. You're into producing. 10 years, 5 years down the line, how do you see your paths, diverging yet staying on the same path together collectively as a musical family with pan as one of the instruments?
Well, I think pan is the base for us. So that has to some way.
It's going to hold you guys together.
Dad will never let us live that down. Or DC, we'd never be able to live that down.
That has to be there somewhere. Even with working with Lauryn Hill, set up, let's go,
Okay. We're gonna save the Lauryn part. That part in them. You guys went to Berkeley, and you'll be heading in there, Sheldon. What was it like when you got in there? To start with you, what were any of the obstacles you faced? Maybe, like, in a nutshell, how was it that you got in there? What did you have to do to maintain yourself as a musician? Did you find that there was any respect or even recognition of, well, I'm actually a pan player as well? And that will be the same question for both of you.
What happened? Well, we started out in D.C., in the Caribbean, Trinidad pan community, but we saw that there were other avenues and that there was a lot of pan in America that wasn't necessarily Caribbean. It was in West Virginia, in Maine, in Midwestern America, and we actually went to Ali Manette's workshop for 3 years. We were there for the 50th anniversary, and we saw, and we were like,
oh yeah,
it's really happening. And then, we got endorsed with Panyard down in Ohio with Ron and Shelley, and we were in their booklet, got stands and sticks. And we just kind of realized that there were other things out there. So, what was it? Someone from that, something was sent in the mail. Berklee College of Music having North American World Scholarship Tour, sent in a tape. Did a recording, sent in a tape, and then we actually did an audition up in Pentagon City, Alexandria, Virginia. And after the audition, we got a letter back, you've been given X amount of dollars. Oh, okay.
Very good.
So we were both graduated from high school by that time, and we were,
So you both went through Berkeley at the same time?
Yes.
On the same scholarship.
Yeah.
Full scholarship?
First to be admitted.
First to be admitted is pan players, principals.
Are there any current pan players other than that you know of in Berkeley?
No. The last pan player out of Berkeley to graduate is Sheldon Webster from Pan.
Okay.
Played with Dane and Natasha.
Okay.
But the obstacles were, my first semester was hard because I knew chords from playing piano, but I didn't necessarily read lines and spaces that well, maybe on a third grade level, honestly. And I failed. Failed a couple classes. Failed first semester. I failed a couple of classes, but went back and did them over, and I'm pretty good at harmony and stuff. It helps me in arranging now.
What about you, Sean?
Well, back to the first question. That question, okay. For me, I think me and Sherwin, we pretty much had the same obstacles because we learned by rote, just like the many pan players. at the time of that audition, it was pretty hard for me because of just I was playing pine and I was young as a teenager at the same time. Sherwin's he's 4 years older than me. Not much. So it was, for me, I was, and I was in the streets also, and at that time, even the time of my audition, I was sick, because due to friends passing away in car accidents and so on. So it was pretty rough. And I depended on my ear at Berkeley, and I mean that's good, but at Berkeley you have to be able to read music. Bottom line.
Theory is as good as the practical.
Yeah. So, like Sherwin said, I fell right along with him, and we cried together.
At least you guys have each other.
Yeah.
Bad when you don't have anybody.
And if you know, in Boston, it's not cheap.
It's not easy
to live, so we were in between working retail jobs, trying to
study and trying to pull it together and still trying to shine.
Exactly.
To maintain that position.
And we were with a rare instrument. So you can imagine that
there's not that much money, that they're not giving you much money. The drum department with Sheldon, you love down there. What you love down there, they get money and they get all these drummers from different places.
Coming through.
Sheldon's drum teacher this summer was Prince's drummer.
Mm-hmm.
So, but for us, we didn't have.
There's no precedent and there's no respect at this point. You guys you started to make the way.
Exactly.
And they had pans there. They had pans there.
What pans have you got there?
They had pans.
Do you know where they came from or who
they came from? Trinidad
Instruments
Limited in Trinidad.
Do you know actually who had an interest in pan before you guys got to Berkeley?
Well, Ron Reed is there.
Oh, okay.
Ron Reed is there currently. But with us, there was, should I say, it was still just him. And then there was just us. So there's 3 people.
Yeah.
Because, he's a teacher and we're the students. And then there was actually another guy from the Virgin Islands named James Gittins. So there's 3 pine players, 1 teacher, a bunch of pines. They're not really giving you any money.
Understood, yeah. So are things any better now?
From what not too much.
Not too much.
Okay, so again, there needs to be some sort of way to be opened. In addition, maybe they need another pair of brothers.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I would advise, if you have the chance, to all the pine players out there, to try to get into Berkeley.
Excellent school.
Excellent especially for what we need, harmony and arranging.
And key, you don't only need note playing, you actually need your theory here.
Because they will break you down. They take you in those classes. There's certain teachers because you have levels, ratings. They rate everybody. So that's how you get into the ensemble. So you rate on musicianship, reading, theory, and you get numbers. So you might get all 6s are perfect. I think Sean and I came in there with 4s. So you'll get into an ensemble with people that are all 4s. So, and then each semester you try to raise them. But when you get into these ensemble, rating things, there are panels of some of the best players and teachers there.
German bugle cool rating.
And they will break you down. You shouldn't have did that there. Oh, that A minor 7 flat 5 chord shouldn't have belonged. Doesn't belong there. And no matter, because they hear it, you can't fool them.
Mm-hmm. That's why they're there.
They might not know the plan, but they know what a G note is when they hear it. And most of them have perfect pitch or very good relative pitch, and they know what the language of jazz should sound like. And if you're faking it, they'll call you out.
We realize I'm saving the best for last. Lauren, I'm not Lauren Hill. I want to find out, you guys come down. You're here. Sean, where are you based? Are you based?
I'm based in Boston.
And of course, you'll be back and forth to Maine, etc.
And also New Jersey.
In New Jersey, okay. And Sheldon?
Based in Boston.
Okay, great. So, what's the panorama time? Back to New York for a moment. You guys traditionally just hang out in the yards, or do you make a decision to play early on if your schedules permit, or is it like a vibe that grabs you? You pass by certain pan yards, you like the song, and or the arranger, you decide to maybe do something. How does it go for you guys in your actually professions? This year you're drumming and you were playing pan.
Well, I think I'm playing double second this year.
Okay, so you think you'll be the double second player?
Right.
Okay.
For us, I'm the Trevor knows. I'm a bootsy to my heart.
Okay.
Played in phase 2. And me and Sean have been playing up here for some years, since 95. So we were rebels. Wherever Boogsy was, we were.
Okay.
And, I mean, I did a brief stint with Bradley, Stranger, and also last year with Celebrate, but I'm a Boogsy. I love Bradley, but I'm a Boogsy.
Yeah. So, are you playing this year?
No, I'm not playing.
You're sitting out. Why not?
I don't know. I was given a couple opportunities to arrange this year, and they fell through, so I was kind of sour with that.
Yeah, you're more in the production. I
want to arrange.
You want to hone your skills.
I'm ready to step in the ring. I mean, I might not beat Mr. Bradley or Mr. Goddard.
But you'll be working on it.
But they'll know. They'll be like, who did that music for that band? And, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at now.
Okay.
But I respect and I love all those guys out there, and I've learned a lot from them. Just like I was telling you guys with Popwell, he said a lot of interesting things in his interview where he was with Bradley and Pelham the other day, and he talked about the different strums and different patterns, and I'm like, that's what we grew up in, because our dad came from Pan North Stars, and we learned all of those different strums from, because being in D.C., we passed through, we've met and played with every band player, from Robbie to Professor to Bugsy to Andy Norell. We know them all. So we've heard all the styles. I mean, Sheldon can recite drum licks from Richard Bailey in Phase 2 and Misbehave from 1997. I mean, and this is drum licks. Yeah. So we grew up. I mean, like people used to say, if there was a scratch in the record, we played it. Imagine playing with pencils on the couch. That's how me and Sean started out, playing with pencils on the couch. So, and this is in America. We're not even from Trinidad.
Okay. Maybe I should touch base very briefly on your history in terms of heritage here, like mom and dad.
Oh, everyone is from Trinidad.
Okay. Okay, and
parents are from St. James.
And dad played with Pan North Stars. Does mom like Pan?
Yes.
Did she play Pan at all?
She didn't play, but from what don't quote me on this, but from what I gathered is that the first woman steel band was in her yard.
Oh, okay.
They used to practice in her yard.
Pretty cool. So we know that she was in the side of Pan.
I don't like to say first because Pan is something that you can never say first.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. But definitely she was a critical point.
Exactly.
The evolution of women playing Pan.
Yeah, she might have been cooking and saw them practicing.
I think she was playing.
Okay. All right. And Sheldon, what do you think you're going to take into Berkeley with you when you enter next year based on the experiences of your brothers? You know that you're actually there taking courses, and of course you know you have to get your theory down, among other things.
I'm getting that right now.
Okay.
You know, but I'm going to come into the school with an aggressive attitude, just, chasing out every teacher, trying to learn and make connections. And I'm doing that already, but.
On the topic of connections, this is a perfect entry point. Give us a little saga, as much as you're allowed to tell, as to how the Laurel Hill Thwaites connection became established.
It was simple. I walked
Not quite simple. But most people wouldn't say simple.
I think it was fate, honestly.
Yeah.
The way it happened.
That I think is more apt.
I mean, I was at Berkeley, and a friend of mine was like, let's go to Virgin and get a CD. It was a jazz CD. It featured Roy Hargrove and Kenny Garrett. It's a tribute to Charlie Parker, I believe.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, let's go. So we walked upstairs. The third floor is the jazz section, so I went to the
Virgin Records.
Yes, in Boston. And I went up to the cash register and I was asking some questions. And I turned around and I saw Miss Hill walking towards me, right? So I said, all right. And I walked away. I was like, that's not Laurel Hill. I just right? Because I was already shaking. I was like, man, let me go this way. So my two friends that were with me followed me. And they were like, what's wrong? I said, y'all don't know who that is right there? They said, no. So her personal assistant came up to me. He was like, you a drummer? I said, yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm a drummer. She walks up and says, so what style do you play? And, how long have you been playing? And I answered those questions. And then she said, do you have a number? I said, yeah. I pulled out my business card. I didn't even know what it was.
Over the business card?
Yeah. I I have a moment, so I'll give you one.
That's how you got it. That's how you got where he is. I like it.
But I gave her my business card. I was nervous, shaking, and I had to leave the store immediately. I was.
I think it was quite a different version to what I heard. This is even better.
No, this is the real version. This is the real version. So, after that, I got a call. I went to the movies actually to see Four Brothers. I didn't even get to finish it because I got the call during the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I rushed to the studio and we jammed, me and her. Guitar, acapella, and drum sets, and everything went well. I auditioned, and then I called my brothers, to back me up because I needed some,
Okay.
And he joined and played double second, and he will be producing pretty soon with her.
Okay.
So we're not finished because she's working on another project currently with Lucy.
Okay, so yeah.
They have an album coming out real soon.
That's good. So that's good to know.
She's actually on a remix right now.
John Legend. Yeah.
I don't know if it came out yet.
So it just came back 2 weeks ago. It came out because we heard it while we were in the studio. We couldn't really say anything about it, but
understood.
It came out.
It came out, so now you can. So in addition to all the cool things that are happening, I think this is probably a definite mark in your journey.
Yes.
And you guys are quite happy about this, I take it.
Of course.
Pan in hip hop.
Via Miss Lauryn Hill.
Funny enough, though, there was Pan before, and me and Sheldon Alcock, who you guys, I'm sure know, we always would talk about it because Roger Greenwich was Robbie's younger brother was given the opportunity to record with Nas, and Roger didn't even know who he was. He always thought he was like, who's this Nas character? And it so happens that
generational gap there, brother.
And it so happens that the recording was Illmatic, like Nas' biggest album. And I don't know I never really heard anything that came out over this or they even used it. And me and Sheldon always talk about if we had that opportunity, man. And the opportunity has come again. So we're just all right, we're ready.
What was her reaction to? Well, she probably knows about Pan or knew about it before, but that was a different thing for her in the studio, probably having she contacts the drummer and then she gets Pan at the same time. Did you gauge any kind of reaction, interest in what you guys are doing in terms of that unique blend?
She's very open to. She's very approachable and open to anything.
Okay.
The music that where she's at now, from what I heard, is a lot of African influence. A lot of odd meters, 6/8. Nothing really in 4/4.
Not the miseducation that we all know.
Gotcha.
So
very deep lyric, spiritual stuff. Yeah. Her energy is
where it needs to be.
Yeah.
She's a different Lauryn Hill now.
Yeah.
Deeper Lauryn Hill. Cool.
People will be expecting one thing, but she's going to hit them from left field.
I hear that.
And she's going to catch them because the music is nice.
That's right. That's right.
So you guys have a lot on your plate in addition to your own individual projects. This one is definitely cast a heck of a glow. And a whole different energy. Anything you guys want to add that I may have forgotten that you want to share with the Global Pan community? I will start with Sean.
We are available to arrange music for anybody.
Okay.
And we come with drummers.
And a group of time players that follow. So
from DC and New York.
Have a website?
Yes, you can check me out at panunited.org.
panunited.org.
Yes.
Oh, that's just with your New Jersey outfit. But do you have a combined website like you guys did not yet?
Not yet.
Not yet, but on there you definitely see me, myself, along with my brothers.
Excellent. panunited.org.
That's Sean's program will spawn everything else for us.
Okay.
So Sean's program will always be Thwaites, will always be somewhere involved in. So I think that's the center.
All right. Sheldon.
This summer, I went to a Berkeley summer program, and I received a $12,000 scholarship to the school. So that's
pretty cool. And you are playing with Pentonic this year?
Yes.
And you're playing double second.
Yes, ma'am.
And you also did a stint during practice from time to time, so you're having a ball on the drums.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're definitely not leaving that far behind. Okay. And, sure?
Well, I've been doing a lot of producing lately, but I want to make sure, and when I do producing, there always there a pan in it somewhere, so that we can make sure and get this pan out to where it belongs. Because it takes one song, one big hit, and it'll just open up doors for everyone. Because I'm tired of hearing, keyboards with the pan sample, and there's so many good players. There's so many good players all around this.
So many good orchestras.
And like Sean says, I mean, I arrange down in D.C. for pan jammers right now currently, and I'm just, want to get my foot in the door or get my feet wet or in the ring with all these greats that I learned from. And I think now with the education behind me,
Yeah. And the Berkeley name, that always helps.
That helps.
Yeah. Okay, guys, so thank you very much for being here at the Studios of When Steel Talks. It's great to be sharing in the success that you guys are now stepping into. Congratulations on the project with Lauryn Hill. All the best with that, as well as your personal endeavors. Educationally, Sheldon, you're on a roll, and you're going to give them hell at Berkeley, because you're not going to do the same things you've learned from your bigger brothers, and you are stepping into new territory, professorship at Maine. Bates College in Maine. That's pretty good. Excellent. And you're in your own path. Production. You won't leave the pan behind, but definitely production. You want to step into that. Great. Congratulations to all in your individual endeavors. Best wishes for a whole lot more, and thank you very much for being here at When Steel Talks.
Thank you. Cool.